Evening, gang. All right, once again for the there's something in the way. Looks like there's a tree in the way, doesn't it? That's actually one of my orchids that's in front of you there. Sorry about that. I completely forgotten there was a camera over there. Good evening. It's Tuesday, the 19th of February, 2019. Welcome along to a nighttime United Kingdom talk. I've just forgotten to do something, so just bear with me a second. What is it today? Tuesday, 19th February 2019, and update. Sorry about that. I'd completely forgotten to do something then. Yes, welcome along to a special nighttime show, boys and girls. I'm actually testing out some equipment tonight. Rather than coming through a wired broadband connection tonight, we're going out via the 3 network over 4G. 4G Wi-Fi. So there's no actual direct connection between the computers and what I'm actually tethering the entire show tonight on a mobile phone. Those of you that are technically interested, there's no wires. It's like computers via Wi-Fi to mobile phone, and they're now over 3's 4G network. And the reason I'm doing this, if you was with us this morning, you'd know all about this. 3 are now doing 4G. It's all happened today. I've had such a good day. It's unbelievable. It really is. 3 have got a brand new 4G unlimited data home broadband thing that they're on offer at the moment for £22 a month. Okay, with my Virgin Media, I pay £53 a month. So that's a huge difference. Nearly £300 a year. And it's not to be sniffed at. I've already done a speed test going up and down. Is round about between 20 and 25 meg each way. Okay, so about 20 to 25 up and 20 to 25 down. And that seems to hold up, certainly on my television viewing downstairs with Netflix and watching the BBC iPlayer and stuff like that. I just wanted to see if it would work with doing my shows as well. I've already way ahead of this. I checked out my Virgin Media contract, which finishes sort of halfway through towards the end of May. So it's just a couple of months. And I rang them up and I told them about this. I said, what can you do for me? And the bloke already said, to be honest, you're on your fastest broadband is 300. I'm on 350 meg. The point is, I don't think I need it. It's a bit like, for those of you that are not technically minded, it's a bit like having a car that can do 180 mile an hour, right? Well, you can never use 180 mile an hour in a car, can you? You only need one that does 70 mile an hour. And I'm kind of thinking it's a little bit like that. I've got 350 meg. Well, actually, I only need about 20. And yet I'm paying an extra £31 a month. It's a huge difference. And the bloke at Virgin Media, he said, we don't really discount much at all on the top end. He said, let me take it down. He looked at the 200 meg one, and that was still coming out at £43. You see? So I want to see if this works. I already used this system down up at the Caravan in Lincolnshire, where I spend half my week. Not at the moment, because the site's closed for a couple of months. And it works perfectly all right there. So I don't see why it wouldn't work here as well and save me a small fortune in the process as well. So that's why we're here tonight, okay? I've got some other wonderful news from the 3 network as well, which is particular to me, and I'll come to that in a moment. There's a text number up there if you ever want to text in your messages. If you can't get through any other way, feel free to use the texting number. That's not a phone-in number. It's a texting number only. 07551 259 675 is the texting number. There is a phone-in number as well, and I'm going to open that in a minute just in case anyone wants to call in tonight. And I'd love you to, just to see if that works as well. I want to do everything that I would normally do to see if it works, you see. Okay, let's read some of your messages out today. First message of the evening comes from my very, very good DJ friend, Matthew Joplin. Good evening, Matthew, who's in a ghastly place called Croydon. I don't know if you're out on the razzle or not at all, or watching on a mobile phone or something like that, but good evening to the lovely Matt Joplin, who DJs at Pop World. Pop World. Good evening, Matthew. George Knight is in the house. Good evening, George. Adam the plumber. Look, we're all the morning people are here. Good morning and good evening to Mark Jones. Hello, Mark, who's back at work again. You don't stop, do you? You're permanently at work. I used to be like that. In my 20s and 30s, I was at my happiest when I was at work. I hated being around the house and doing nothing. It took me, when I cut down on my work, which is only a couple of years ago, it took me ages to settle into being happy at home. It was awful. It was really, I had terrible trouble sitting around like watching a telly or finding something to do at home. Now I love it. Evening to Rod Brown. Good evening, Rod. Nice to see you up so late tonight, my friend. Alan Russell is in the house. He's still there. Good evening. It's evening now, Alan. It's evening now. Dominique is back from this morning as well. There you go. Correcting yourself. Timmy Thomas, when you're gone, the be gone. Oh, she's been stripped of her British citizenship, hasn't she? I was just watching the news before she came on. The ISIS girl. You know, stripped of her British citizenship. What was she, 15 when she left the country or something? I don't know. I don't really want to get into it. It's not a sort of thing that I talk about. I don't really do stuff that's really, really serious on the show. But, I mean, she left at 15. She decided to do. Now, some people would say that she was too young. She was too young to know what she was doing. But those same liberal type thinking people want to give young people a vote. Well, which is it? Do they know what they're doing or don't they? Make your minds up. You have your thoughts. I have mine on that. I personally think that no, she shouldn't be let back into the country. Are you having a laugh? No, absolutely not. Good evening to Damon Gaunt. Welcome, Damon. Roy Brownlow is in the house as well. Good evening, Roy. Tay, hello, Tay. Whenever I say your name, Tay, it reminds me of that song. Take or leave it. Respectable by Mel and Kim, because it's got that bit in it. Tay. Yeah. Oh, someone sent a text here. Dare I read this out? Hello, Maureen. Maureen's with us at this night time as well. Good evening, Maureen. How's the old chest going, darling? Maureen's got a bit of a nasty chest at the moment. It stopped her going to... It must be serious because it's stopped her going to karaoke for the last 2 weeks, isn't it? Sorry, for the last 2 sessions. For the last week, anyway. So I hope you're recovering slowly. Do take it easy, Maureen. Please don't come out and force yourself out because we expect you to be there. You take it easy and come when you're ready, darling, okay? What's this here? I don't know who sent this in. Do you want me to read? I don't know. Don't know if I should read it or not. Someone might be offended. Oh, it's really offended. We're a snowflake. It says, congratulations. Your application to receive regular home is ISIS girl has been successful. We will be delivering her to your Lincolnshire home as soon as possible. Or you are naughty. You'd never get with that away on LBC, would you? Oh, dreadful. Tay's pleased we've got a bonus evening show tonight. Tommy Flynn, good evening to Tommy Flynn. He does like the sound. What, me like the sound of my own voice? Too right I do. Why else would you do this? What a stupid thing to say. I mean, state the obvious. He likes the sound of his own voice. Correct. Next comment, please. Anything else you want to observe? Roy says we're a bit pixelated. How is the picture and sound for you, boys and girls? Please let me know if there's any difference at all. Sometimes people say, oh, the sound's not working or the picture's not working. And often I do find it's actually the person who's complaining who's got the problem. If everyone else is okay, then it's usually the person who's got the problem at that end, all right? Good evening to Gareth Rogers, who's seeing me beautifully in Tokyo. Ah, Tokyo! Hello, Gareth. Can you just imagine saying that in Islington? Ah, Tokyo! Oh, that's really racist. No, it's not racist. That's how people talk from Tokyo. They've got an accent. Actually, I'm no good at doing accents at all. Can't do them. I did Welsh once and someone thought I was from Australia, dear. It just doesn't work for me. Good evening to Craig Hannington. Thank you, Craig. Tommy Flynn. Quality as good as usual. Okay. Well, it remains to be seen. I mean, it might be all right now, but what about in 20 minutes' time? Will it also hold up? That's what's important as well to me. I can't have it. If it's a bit on and off, that's no good to me. So we'll see how we go with the show. And I'll continue testing it out over the next couple of weeks to see how we go, whether I make the switch or not. Thank you, Tay. He says, can't tell I wasn't wired. I've been wired for years, mate. Years. I've been wired for sound. Excellent song from the lovely Cliff Richard. Anyone been to his flat? Not me. Yes, it is unlimited. It is unlimited. I spoke to the person on 3 earlier, and he assures me that it is unlimited. You may want to check the 3 thing there. Okay, I've had a look on the site. It definitely says unlimited there. Okay. Diana Strelly. Hello, Diana, you beautiful lady. Evening, Diana. Damon says, I can see how shiny your head is. You git. You absolute git. You know who else tells me how shiny my head is? My great nieces and nephews. Oh, yes. If you want an honest opinion or answer to anything, ask the child who's younger than sort of 12 years old. They're only too happy to tell you. They come along and they touch your head. Oh, Uncle Chris, you've got a blob on your head. Look, you've got no hair. Little kids are only too happy to give you a totally and utterly honest opinion. I've got this pair of red trainers, Ralph Lauren trainers they were, and the reason I've got them is because they became cheap. You know, when you get older, you don't worry so much about fashion. Oh, talking of fashion, that bloke died, didn't he? Some very big fashion designer, I can't remember his name. I've got to be honest, I'd never heard of him. I'd never, maybe that's because I'm not into fashion, but he's created some wonderful things, I suppose. I don't know anything that he's created, so maybe it's just me being a bit ignorant there. But yes, honest opinions from children at all time, indeed. Alistair Davis, hello there, Alistair, who's thanking us about the information about 3. Let's have a look there. Gareth, there's no difference in the quality here. Amazing how you can now afford your agent's fee. Shall I let our good friend know? No, don't, dear. She's a bit upset, really, because I've just booked a holiday. I've booked a holiday. I'm so pleased that I've done this. I'll tell you about that a little bit later on. But as soon as I book a holiday, I immediately inform my agents, whose reply was, you could have told us a bit earlier. Well, that's very doubtful. I've only just booked the bloody thing. Rude she is. Rude. She'd be down to you for her money as well. I gather you owe her a couple of quid. Is that right, Gareth? Excuse me drinking tea while I'm doing a show tonight. I literally haven't been up long. I have a little afternoon sleep, you see, and I got up again just to talk to you and try this thing out. Evening to Wayne Martin. Richard Wells is in the house. Good evening, Richard. First time along, I think, is it? Welcome along, Richard. Marab, who's watching on one of the Learn English website groups. Good evening, Marab. Welcome to the show. Callum Dove is there. Hello, lovely Dukey Chrissy baby. Evening, Duke. It was either sit here and do a show tonight or ring you up and take you out for a meal. I decided to sit here and do the show. Sorry about that, Chris. Dominique says, I forgot this was on this morning. No wonder I'm so tired. Try and get a little bit of a sleep now and again, Dominique. You're not supposed to be awake 24 hours a day. All right? Shut up, Roy. Jimbo Essex, emergency broadcast live from Bracknell. An emergency broadcast. The last one I did an emergency broadcast. I'd insulted someone at the King's Head Theatre Bar. I remember what was it again? Oh, it was someone complained. That was it. It was a complaint for someone that I had been homophobic. Yeah, me, I know. Mr. King Gay Pin. I'd been homophobic. Silly bastard, honestly. That's the Islington lot they are. Don't go in a pub in Islington and bring up anything that might... That's really offensive. Full of snowflakes, Islington. Ghastly place. I mean, you and I could never afford to buy a house in Islington, and yet it's full of idiots. Strange and mysterious, that's what it is. Ray Reynolds is in the house. Good evening, Ray. Diane says, you look slimmer. Is that normal? No, I've put on weight. I'm above 13 stone now. I'm finding it incredibly hard to get back on that slimming world thing. I don't know why. Thank you, Tommy, for the info. Wayne is in Bracknell tonight. Well, I don't mean you can come round here, Wayne. Don't be knocking at my door, mate. Not this. I don't open that door after 6 o'clock. It could be religious extremists trying to break in and take over the show and give their messages to my millions of viewers all over the world. Very, very dodgy. Do a Scottish accent. Okay, we knew. By yon bonny banks and by yon bonny braes, where the sun shines bright On the floor. I think that was kind of a Scottish accent with an English tint to it, wasn't it? If there's anyone on YouTube tonight, your messages aren't getting through. I've got nothing on YouTube at all tonight for some reason. So if you are there and you've typed a message, it's not getting to me, okay? Just to warn you. Yeah, YouTube, Facebook twitches, does it? Facebook is twitching now and twitching now and again, is it? Actually, I should have lowered the bit rate before let me just make a note of that. I should have lowered the bit rate really on the outgoing video. Lower bit rate. I'll do that tomorrow morning. We'll try it again tomorrow morning just to we'll keep doing that for a while and see how it goes. All right. Thank you, Damon. If Facebook is twitching and YouTube isn't, that kind of indicates to me that that's not my problem. Do you know what I mean? If it's working on one of them. Jimbo, I must ask, where'd you get your blazers from? Most of them, the really colourful ones, come from a company called Rosegal, Rosegal. They are unbelievably cheap. This was about 20 quid. 15 to 20 quid. Have a look on Rosegal. They're a Chinese company, but they're very good. I've never been disappointed by them. Sometimes the stuff can take a little bit long to come. I've got to tell you, the longest time I waited was about 2 months. The shortest time, about 3 weeks, okay? And you send over your order, you pay your money, and it just comes in the post. Very, very good indeed. Very, very good indeed. Okay, Glenda says, I don't think the notifications went out on the YouTube. Okay, that's quite possible. That happens now and again. Just remind the gang, it's always a good idea to perhaps have notifications set up on Facebook and YouTube, because sometimes one or the other, or maybe both of them don't work. You just never know. But generally, if you've got them both set, you'll get one or the other. Damo has sent a message on the YouTube, so that is working. Thank you very much. Hello to Glenda, who texts into the show and said she just went into the YouTube and noticed that we were on stream tonight. Okay, so thank you very much for that, Glenda. Oh, what's happened to that phone there? There we are. Hello. Amsterdam Paul is with us as well, watching in Amsterdam. When it's spring again, I'll bring to you those tulips from Amsterdam. Good evening, Paul. Thank you very much. I'm on a 65-inch over there. Oh, what I'd give for 65 inches, I'll tell you that now. All right, so rosegal.com. Have a look there. Click on blazers and you'll find a massive selection of wonderfully bright coloured blazers of all different designs. I might have another look later, actually, order another one or two. I feel in that sort of mood there. Tay says you're lucky to get such great internet service. My wired service, AT&T, that's in the States, gets an amazing 5 gig. What, is that your limit? You get a 5 gig limit. We don't have any limits here, you see. Well, I mean, some of them do. I don't have any limits here on my upload and download. I just do it and that's it. We don't have to worry about that anymore. We did when they first came out, Eric Johnson, good evening. Howdy, Eric, who's in Texas. Michelle White, good evening, Michelle. Very disappointing on the Dynasty this week. There was no new episode of Dynasty on Netflix this week, was there? Michelle and I are avid Dynasty viewers on Netflix. We love it. Has the monkey been named? Oh, the monkey's here. There's the monkey. The monkey was named this morning Jack, okay? Or it was yesterday morning, Jack. You're wondering what they are, aren't you? I'll tell you in a minute. But the monkey was named Jack. I think it was either this morning or yesterday morning, okay? Gareth, you're not into fashion with those blazers. These are not... Can you believe going out with one of these? Mind you, some of the stuff that the girls go up and down on the catwalk sometimes. There was a bloke actually... Actually, I took a photo. Oh, I haven't got it here. Damn. There was a bloke tonight on the London News that I don't know what he had on. And they were talking about the fashion designer. He had this, metal thing across his face. I mean, can you just imagine going in Audi and bumping into someone like that at the baked bean counter? Very, very strange and mysterious people are. Mind you, have you ever bumped into me by the baked bean counter? That's just a worry. Good evening to non-Irish Mary from Ireland. She's in the house. That's Mary Warren there. Say hello to Mary, everyone. Hello to Jimson. Good evening to Jimson. Again, on one of the Learn English sites. Welcome to the show there. I got your message there, Damon. Thank you very much. Is it a new jacket or an accident in the home base paint aisle? Don't you like this one? This is, I think, possibly my most unpopular. Don't do up. Oh, breathing in. No, I don't think we'll do it up. We don't like to do things up. All right. Diana says, do you remember the first time I ever met her? No, was it in a sauna? Diane, were you pretending to be a lad in a sauna? Was it in there? I don't know. Right, let's get on with this. Jack, don't take Jack on a plane. Oh, you are naughty tonight, all of you. Right, so can I just tell you, I've already told you why we're here tonight. Now, on a completely different subject, but cup of tea. Oh, hang on. Oh. On a completely different subject, this here is from the 3 mobile telephone network. They have sent me this. Now look at this. This is just beautiful. This is. Look, this. I got back from my mate's house. I was at my mate's house booking the holiday earlier, and there were 2 large boxes in my special place. Not that special place. In my special place where I leave things, where Amazon and that are allowed to leave things. There were 2 large boxes and a little card through my letterbox. And I opened these boxes, and there is this beautiful. I mean, look at this. It's a real beautiful red rose in a box. Can you see that all right? Isn't that beautiful? Not only that, but this as well. Look at this. This is a hamper. Now, where's the card? Oh, don't. So I put the bloody card up here somewhere. I wanted to read that to you as well. I must have dropped it on the way up. Can you hang on a minute? Just a sec. Just talk amongst yourselves. I don't think I brought it up here. Where have I put that now? It hasn't fallen down the back here, is it? Can you bear with me? I'm just going to pop downstairs and see if I can find the card. 1 second. Oh dear. No, I can't find that card anywhere. Well, I don't know where that's gone. I don't know where that card's gone. There was a little card in there. It must be here somewhere, surely. Put it there. Oh, did I put it over there? 1 minute. Is it over here? Nope. Oh no. Is it here? Nope, not here. Under my papers. Under my teapot. Under my iPad. Not there, not anywhere to be seen. Oh, how disappointing. Where has that gone then? Oh, that's such a shame. Anyway, it was a card from 3. That's what it was, because last week, 3, the network, on their Twitter, because I'm on Twitter as well. Chris Reardon UK is my Twitter, right? Check my pockets. That's a good idea. No, not in my pockets either. I don't know what I've done with that. I really wanted to read that to you, but I can remember roughly what it said anyway. Last week, 3 put this thing up on their Twitter. And it said, hope you had a nice Valentine's Day. What did you all get? And I replied to it, nothing sadly, but I have my 3 all-you-can-eat for just £25 a month, so very happy, heart, heart, heart. Yeah, I didn't think anything of it. I often reply to Twitter things, not expecting to get a reply or anything like that. But no, blow me down, I got a reply. And it was from 3 UK support saying your satisfaction and happiness makes our day, Chris. Happy surfing. Anyway, I thought no more of that. And then I got a message, a direct message from 3 customer support. It says, when you're happy, we're happy. Now, of course it's a marketing thing, of course. But that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. When you're happy, we're happy, Chris. We can't have you not getting anything on Valentine's Day, though. Pop over your full name and address and 3 number, and we'll see what we can do. And there's a little face with a wink, you know, what they called, you know, the little things, instead of writing letters, they put that sort of thing in. Okay? And I replied to that, no, really? And then I put my address and my phone number and the little message, you were too kind. They replied to that, we're not having you missing out, Chris. Keep an eye out for the postie in the next few days. Right? So I thought, oh, that's nice. They're going to send me a little card through the door. Maybe, I don't know, a little sim or something with a $5 on it, perhaps something like that. And I thought that was totally unnecessary. I didn't ask for anything and I didn't expect anything. I was just joining in with the Twitter. So blow me down when I got back from my mate's house tonight and there's these 2 bloody great big boxes outside. The rose and the hamper. I couldn't believe it. And I opened it and there's a little card in there saying, we didn't want you to miss out on Valentine's Day. Have these on us. We love you. The 3 Network. How blooming fantastic is that? I've never ever had anything like that on a Valentine's Day. And it filled me, it absolutely filled me with happiness when I came in and opened these boxes. And these 2 things are there. How nice is that? And a little card, and I will find that somewhere. It hasn't fallen in the bin, has it? No, there's nothing in the bin. Oh, hang on, my monkey. There's my monkey. Slippers, not under the slippers. I will find that card somewhere. Just a little card with some writing on it. How nice is that? And you don't know how happy that made me feel receiving such a thing through the post. For just being nice, blooming nice, really, really nice. So I'm very happy to have received that there. Right, some of your messages again. Is it on top of the clock behind you? No, it's not on top of the clock. I don't know where that card's gone, I'm afraid. It's disappeared somewhere. Hello, Kathy. Kathy Conquest Forsyth Smith is laying here watching Holby. Ah, yes, I shall be watching that later. Has Jack Naylor. I love Jack Naylor. Did you know that Holby and Casualty are joining up for a joint couple of shows in a few weeks' time? I think it's to celebrate their 30th or 40th anniversary or something. I remember watching the first ever Holby. Absolutely, I did. Watching the whole first time. She's laying there having a hot chocolate and custard creams. Custard creams. Now you're talking, lady. Custard creams. I shall be straight round there. Thank you very much. She's taking meds, so hope to be asleep soon. Oh, well, this show is guaranteed to help you sleep. I guarantee you that, all right? Vectis, I'm on more times than a BBC repeat. Yes, I am. Hello to Dina. Good evening, Dina. Diana. Emojis, that's the word I'm looking for, Diana. Thank you very much. There's Chris again. All right, Jukey. You were on earlier, weren't you? You disappeared and you're back again, dear. Marvellous. Marvellous. How long are you off for? A couple of weeks' work or something, Chris? I'm sure you're off for a couple of weeks' work. Roy wants to know what's in the hamper. Oh, okay. Here we are. Well, I haven't opened it yet, but I've got in here. Look, it's got. Look, can you see the little label from the 3 Network? Look at this. Look at this. Just for replying to a treat. I'm so touched by this. I really am. It's got double Gloucester cheese with spring onions. Double Gloucester cheese. Do you know how creamy that is? Here you are, Dukey Chris. Want to come down and have some of that with me on a cracker? Eh? Or would you just like me on the cracker? Make your choice, Chris. The cheese or me. There's English breakfast tea, which is my favourite. As you know, English breakfast tea. We've got a couple of cakes here. Market Town Bakery, a coffee and walnut cake. Oh, it just gets better and better. And it looks like there's some sort of biscuits in there as well. Oh, there's something underneath. Well, do you want me to open it and find out what's underneath? I don't want to open it. It's such a nice thing. What is this? United. Oh, it's got this on it as. You don't think they know I do a chat show, do you? I'm starting to put 2 and 2 together because I have been talking a lot about the 3 Network as well. You don't think they know I talk about them, do you? Am I that famous now? Answer, probably yes. Probably. I don't want to open this. It just looks so nice. Oh, do I have to open it today? No, I'm not going to open it today. Here, you'll have to keep watching now. I could open this at any time. Day or night. Any time, day or night. All right? There we are. Honestly. Hello to Mike Flux, who's in Cyprus. Really, Mike? Well, that'd take me on to my next subject, Cyprus, because I have now booked my holiday, boys and girls. I'm very pleased to announce I booked my holiday. Now, we did just have a little drop out there. I might have frozen for a second now. I did see what happened now on the screen. Just a minute. Oh, that's better. Nice cup of tea. Did have a bit of a drop out there. Diana says, don't open it. I don't want to open it at the moment. You're right, Diana. It is lovely. Don't want to open it at the moment. Very, very exciting. Anyway, so, Chris is in Leeds. I thought you'd come back, Chris. I thought you'd already come back. No? Didn't you? Did you come back and you've gone back up there again? Oh, you're all over the place, aren't you, Chris? I mean, if there's a bed available, you're off, aren't you? Unbelievable. I'll open the phone line as well now. All right, that's already open now. So if you want to call in, you may do so. Phone number up there, 0208144 3477 is the phone-in number. Anything perhaps we're talking about or anything else at all, you can call in tonight, 0208144 3477. Mark, I hope you're still there at the moment. It was pointed out to me by my lovely sister that sometimes when I'm listening, when someone's calling in, I kind of look up and it doesn't look like I'm listening to you. Now, I am. Okay? The reason I look up is because I'm checking. Remember, it's only me sitting here. We don't have a production team like at the BBC, dear. Okay? It's just little old me. I answer the phones. I push the buttons. I do everything. Okay? So when I'm looking up, I'm actually looking at another screen where I am. Okay? And also, I've got a little box there that tells me what the connection is. Okay, that's working all right. In front of me there's a meter going like that to make sure I'm not distorting to you. I've got the phone system on the right there. On the left here, I've got one lot of messages. On the right there, I've got another lot of messages. So that's why when there's a call on and I'm kind of looking around, it's not that I'm not listening. I'm making sure everything's still working. Okay, that's the reason for that. Okay, Chris is back on Saturday. And then in Manchester. You're all over the place, dear. Have you run out of people to do in London? I'm sure it is. Hello to Jeannie Bolaya. Hello, Jeannie, who loves the talk show from Hotlanta. #1 Barry Manilow fan. Oh, yeah. Oh, Mandy. Well, you came and you gave without taking. Gareth. 3 have been watching you. Maybe they send me a blazer. Yeah, mate, if 3 wanted to send me a blazer with 3 written all over it, I'll happily wear that. All right? Am I being played in Maidenhead? I don't care where I'm played, anywhere I do me, dear. That's how it is. Gareth, by the way, did we talk about the our British Eurovision song? Well, are we happy with that or not? United Kingdom Eurovision song. I have to say I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I quite like the Freak song, but I hated that one completely. Anyway, hello, Shania. 2 shows in one day. You are being spoilt today at no additional cost to anyone at all. How kind am I? Giving away, I'm practically a prostitute here, giving away my services for nothing without actually travelling, without actually charging for it. Okay, so yes, Cyprus. I've now managed, I'm very pleased to say, to book my holiday to Cyprus. The reason I'm going there is that my niece and her husband, they're moving out there for 3 years in a couple of weeks' time for his work. And I want to go and see them because I want to go and see my niece. And of course, the 3 great nieces and nephews. There's George, he's either 6 or... I never get the children's ages right. And they go mad. Isn't it funny? When they're children, the difference of a few months on their age, they go mad. How old are you? Are you 6? No, I'm 7. No, I'm 7. Oh, okay. Are you sure are you 6.5? No, I'm 7. And how are you older? I'm 7 years and 2 months old. Oh, well, so you're 7. No, I'm 7 years and 2 months old. As you get older, it doesn't matter, does it? You know, I'm round about 40. Do you see what I mean? I'm around. Doesn't matter. I might be a little bit older than 40 or a little bit young. I'm around 40. When you're a child, it matters that you get it to the second how old you are. So great nephew George is either 6 or 7, round about there. Emily is, I think, 5 or 6, and she is a diva. Emily is a diva. She's got the hair, she's got the dark glasses, and if she doesn't like something, she comes over and tells you. Absolutely. And then there's baby James, who's just over 1.5, something like that, I think now. Baby James, who is slowly learning to talk. I've managed to get him to do, I've taught him to do that, baby James. And of course, I want to go and see him. So it won't be the first visit I make to Cyprus. They have some houses near where they're staying, which I can rent cheaply. Unfortunately, they're all being done up at the moment. So what I've had to do is book a flight and a hotel. Now, if you're a regular viewer to the show, you'll know, I've already told you this a couple of times now, that I just considered that Cyprus was on the same sort of price scale as somewhere like Spain or Portugal. You know, quick holiday for a week, you go somewhere like Cyprus. Incorrect. No, it's not. You are not going to get a holiday in Cyprus for 200 quid. Okay? You can do it really cheaply. Adam the plumber, who's with us today, kindly looked on a site called On the Beach and come out with something there. But it was all Ryanair or EasyJet. And I'm not, I hate flying. I'm not scared of flying. I hate it. I have to be comfortable on a plane. So I get the posh seats, okay? I'm willing to pay a bit more extra, sometimes a lot more extra. But generally on short-term flights, it's a bit extra. It's not massively different from the economy seat. Certainly not on British Airways. However, you could fly the stuff that I was looking at. There was a lot of Ryanair flights. I ain't going to go on a Ryanair. Absolutely not. Never in a million years. And I was telling the people who were watching the show this morning, there was no charge for the Ryanair flight. But there is, of course. Did you want to take a bag with you? Of course I wanted. Well, that's an extra 30 quid. You know, I'm used to just turning up at the airport, a suitcase, maybe never anymore. I'm a man on my own. I'm not a fashion person. I take the bare minimum on holiday. My mate is completely opposite to me. He's got 2 blooming full suitcases, one of which is full of toiletries. I mean, how much stuff can you put on your face, for Christ's sake? Oh, he's got the whole lot. You know, different set of clothes, hundreds of pairs of trousers and shirts, just in case he can't decide what to wear on a night. Me, I'll have just a few bits and pieces in a suitcase, and that does me. That's the end of it. So I don't need to take a lot. But nevertheless, I want to just turn up at the airport, you know, having paid whatever it is, one price for the plane fare and my bag, and get on it. You go on the Ryanair and you've got to be charged that for that. Or you want to print the boarding card yourself? Oh, that's an extra £5. What? Are you for real? No, don't want it. So I pay for the British Airways thing, and I'll tell you what I played in a moment. So for a week, I've got a British Airways flight there and back, business class, okay? And I've got a room in a nice hotel. I don't know how many stars it was. Now, I think we booked that through... can I tell you? If I look at my email, I'll be able to tell you who I booked this through. You'll probably know, because I've never done this before. I've never booked something online. I found it incredibly difficult. So I went over to my mate's house, you see, because his other half, excuse me, they go on a lot of... I don't go on many holidays. They go on a... Oh, what's that there? Oh, rent has been paid in. Good. There we are. Expedia. There we are. Expedia. We booked this through Expedia. And my mate and his other half, they go on a lot of holidays, far more than me. And he's used to doing this. And we found that he had showed me where flights were and all that. I was already had the British Airways app on my phone, so I did it on there. I was quite pleasantly surprised at the flight. And then I saved another £100 because I got all these points. I can't, British Airways points, maybe. Avios points, something like that. Excuse me, I'm wheezing a bit here, aren't I? So I'd done the flight, and then I found the room in a nice hotel. I think it was 3 stars. That's perfectly all right for me. I like the look of it. The room's all right, man on his own. I'm not going to be in a hotel much, only to sleep. That's the only reason I'll be only asleep. Most of the time, I'm expecting to spend with my niece and her family, you see. She won't be doing anything out there. So I'll probably be just around their house and mucking around down there, perhaps on the beach or something like that. And for 1 week's holiday, it's come out to about £550, which I'm happy at. I'm fairly happy at that. I was hoping it was on the same sort of level as Spain, Portugal, somewhere like that. I thought, if you're really lucky, you'll get something for about maybe 350. No, not Cyprus. Cyprus is expensive. It's an expensive place. And when I first started looking, I was finding prices like £700-800. And I'm like, what, for a week's holiday? 800 quid. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't know about this. And I actually considered going on EasyJet. Can you believe that? EasyJet me. Oh, that orange dear. God's sake, man. Oh, awful. Oh, the orange. But, And as I've been doing it for a couple of weeks now, coming out with these prices, and then I think we eventually got down to about 6 or 7. I know this is getting better, but it's still more than I want to pay. And today we came out with $550 by booking separately, as I say, the flights and the hotel booked separately, and that's fine. I'm happy with paying that. You get to a level where you're happy with what you're paying, so that's what I've paid. And that's it. So I'm very much looking forward to going to that in March sometime. Good. Anyone been to Cyprus? We've got a bloke living there in Cyprus, haven't we? We've actually got a bloke living there in Cyprus. So Rod says it's a good price for Cyprus. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that. I don't need to have... Oh, Mike is based in Limassol. Well, that's where I'm going, Mike. Limassol. That is where I'm going, Limassol. Isn't that funny that you're there as well? I'll be going, I don't have the exact dates, but sometime in March. No doubt my nephew will get very excited because he moves into the house whenever I'm not here. He likes to, because he's in Lincolnshire. So he comes down here and it's like a week's holiday to him to be here in this house all on his own. So we don't go searching for all my paperwork and everything like he normally does. So look, I've got 2 nephews. One's Gary, he's married. 34 years. I think he's either 34 or 35. And then there's Jimmy. He's the younger one. He'll be the one who comes and stays, and he does all football and all that. No doubt he'll be down at blooming Chelsea screaming his head off at all those little people running around the field, aren't they? Don't forget, gang, there's a phone-in number if you want to call in. 020-8144-3477 is the phone-in number. There's also a Skype. If you've got Skype, I'd love someone to call in so I can test the phone over on this 4G thing as well. 020-8144-3477. Good evening to Tony Power, who's there watching on the YouTube stream. Good evening, Tony. And hello to Sune, who's in Sweden. Long time no see. Hello, Sune. I do hope you're doing very well. He's a lovely chap, he is, Sune. Mike. Depends on what time you book. Flights can cost £100 and around €200 for Airbnb. I don't quite understand the Airbnb thing. I find that an interesting thing that I haven't really looked into before. We've got a call going over to Pennsylvania in the USA for Glenda. Good evening, Glenda.
Yes, hi. How are you?
Hello, my darling. Thanks ever so much for calling in and trying this little phone-in thing.
You're welcome. What's new over there in England?
Sorry, say that again, my darling.
I said, what is new over in England? By the way, I call you Mr. England. That's your nickname.
Mr. England?
Yes, that's who I always tell my mom, I spoke to Mr. England today, or, Mr. England asked about you. So that's your nickname.
How is your mum? Is she all right, Glenda?
Yeah, she's doing well. She worked today and she came home. She was having a couple of little issues with her truck on her way home, so she was concerned about that, but she got it taken care of.
What's wrong with the vehicle?
It was making like a squeaking noise, and so she took it to get looked at, and they fixed it for her for free, so she was really happy.
Handy. There's nothing worse. A lot of the getting a little squeak in the car, and as soon as you notice it, it sounds like 100 times louder than it really is, don't you? And you can't ignore it. Just a little random squeak in the car, and you can have that in and out of the garage, and they can't find out what it is. Oh, it's dreadful. I
wanted to tell you, I really enjoyed watching you sing your two songs last night at the karaoke.
Oh, what did I do last night? I did Barry Manilow's Stay.
You did a ballad.
I did a ballad, Barry Manilow's Stay. What was the other one? I can't think the other one I did now.
Remember.
Yeah, there were two.
But you do another song by John Paul or John somebody.
Oh, John Paul Young, Love is in the Air. Love is in the air.
Yes, and you get that song stuck in my head all day long while I'm working. I'm thinking of this song and I'm singing it to myself because he's singing at the karaoke.
I'm sorry, Glenda. I'm trying to bring music and happiness into people's sad, lonely, pathetic lives. That's what I do.
Well, you bring happiness into my life. So.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Glenda. Well, you asked what's going on in the UK. We're a complete and utter chaos at the moment. No one seems to know what anyone else is doing. The Labour Party are falling apart. I think the Conservatives may go the same way. We don't know what's happening with Brexit. We are in a right mess here at the moment. But here in my house, nothing seems to change. I haven't noticed anything different. I mean, the plants look a bit older, but that's about all.
I think you guys will be fine. You'll figure it out.
I think so as well. It just takes a little bit of working through, doesn't it?
The world's going to keep on turning no matter what happens over there.
Oh, what's that song, The World Keep on Turning? Is that a Shirley Bassey one? If the world...
I have no idea.
Oh, I can't. Make the world go around. That's it. Make the world go around. I'm sure that's a Shirley Bassey song.
You know
Yeah, go on.
You know who else I love to watch on the karaoke is that Roy. I think he is the cutest older man I've ever seen. He's so adorable.
Roy is wonderful. He is such a nice character. He really is.
He's so cute.
Yeah, and he's as mad as a hatter, just like myself. We are very much the same, you know. Myself and Roy are seriously very, very much the same. He's just a touch older than me, as I say. But, yeah. Oh, I'm glad you like it. We've got some wonderful characters who come along on a Monday night. Just wonderful, normal people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think there's really that many karaoke things around where I live because I've looked online and I really haven't found any. I don't know if it's not as big. Like, I live in a small town. You always say I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I'm from Northumberland, Pennsylvania.
Northumberland.
I don't live in Pittsburgh.
I think I've got that. I think I've got that on my Monopoly board, Northumberland Avenue. That's a very posh place. Are you posh, Glenda?
No.
I think you are
Far
posh,
from
aren't
it.
you? You're a posh person.
I'm just a normal girl.
Do you work, Glenda?
Yes, I work. Well, that's because I asked you about doing that survey. Well, not survey, but for my term paper.
Yes.
I work for actually a health insurance company.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I'm going to school to get my bachelor's in healthcare management.
Okay.
Because here in the United States, if you don't have your bachelor's degree, you basically can't. I mean, you can. Don't get me wrong. I mean, you can work your way up and get a good paying job. But, I mean, where I work, if you don't have your bachelor's degree, you can't continue to move forward with your career. So that's why I'm back in school. I have 72 credits after this semester, and I need 120 to graduate with my bachelor's. I already have my associate's degree. I worked for an attorney for years. You guys call them solicitors, but we call them attorneys. I was a paralegal for a long time.
Why did you leave that?
Attorney.
Why did you leave that? I would imagine that's a really interesting job, isn't it?
It is an interesting job, but if you don't live in the city, you don't make very much money.
Oh, okay.
The attorneys are the ones that make the money, and the paralegals or their assistants are the ones that basically do all the work.
So you sound like you're a very intelligent person, Glenda. You see, I don't consider myself intelligent at all. I didn't really learn much.
You shouldn't put yourself down.
No, honestly,
you should not put yourself down.
I really didn't learn too much at school. I left with just 2 O-levels, both of which were grade C, physics and English. I got unclassified for... Unclassified is below grade, yeah? For music, religion, geography. I got an E for maths. I honestly do not consider myself an intelligent person at all. But saying that, I seem to have done okay. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, you entertain a lot of people, so you're doing well for yourself. You have all those properties you talk about. You do your karaoke thing. You were a big time DJ over there. I think you did pretty well for yourself.
Yeah, but the property thing, that's because my mum and dad died, you see. That's why with my half of the money, my sister had half and I had half. My half of the money, I put it in the properties, and I allowed those to grow, and then I redone it and bought some more. That's how I've done it. That's not down to what I've done. I mean, some people they've built up small empires and all that. They never tell you. They never credit where the money's come from. The money came because my mother and father died and left me not massive amount, but of course I've taken that and built on it. You see what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and say I've got this because I've done this, this, and this. But yes, okay. I mean, I've built it for more than what it was in the first place, like planting a tree, I suppose. And I've nurtured it and allowed that to grow, but certainly not. And of course, I'd rather have my mum and dad than a few properties. Believe me. Have you got your mum and dad still, Glenda,
of course
or not?
You would. Well, yeah. My mom, she lives about
of course you've got your
8
mum
blocks away from me.
Yes.
And my dad, he lives 3.5 hours away, but my dad and I, we don't have a very close relationship.
Okay.
It's kind of sad, actually, but I mean, it's just not a very good subject to talk about.
Okay,
my parents,
that's fine.
They were married
leave it
for
there.
30,
Leave it there. That's fine.
My parents were married for 36 or 38 years before they got divorced.
Right. Okay, that's a long time, isn't it? Yeah, that's a long time. People.
Yeah, and I was in my late 20s when they separated.
Right.
And I'll tell you what, that was just as hard for me to go through being almost 30 than it probably would have been if I would have been a kid. I mean, it was really, really hard for me.
Yeah, I think
experience that.
I think things happen in your childhood and you kind of grow with them, if you see what I mean. Maybe out of them and that sort of thing. But as an adult, you kind of your mind is already set, isn't it? So I think sometimes children
I was so used to everybody having holidays together, birthdays together, going away with my parents all the time, and then all of a sudden it just stopped.
Yeah.
And then my dad, he lived so far away from me that, I mean, it's kind of almost sometimes I feel like he's not even living.
Right.
And that's not nice of me to say, but that's how I feel because he's so far away and he never contacts me. And I have 2 older sisters as well. And neither of them really have any contact with me either.
Do you ever think about...
It's a sad situation.
Do you ever think about picking up the phone and ringing him?
Yeah, I have actually quite a bit lately. I haven't talked to him for several months. This is the longest time that I've gone that I haven't talked to my dad. And I feel really bad, but my husband just said to me last night, because I told him I was thinking about calling my dad, and he's like, you haven't cried at all since you haven't talked to your dad. And that kept on going through my head all day long while I was working today. I mean, he's right. I haven't cried at all since I stopped talking to my dad.
Mm.
So,
do you know what? I would put money on it. He would absolutely love you to call him.
I'm sure that he would. And I will eventually get around to it, but it's just once you start talking again, then all the drama starts, and I don't want to deal with that stuff.
Really? What if
yeah.
I don't know how far you want to go. What if if you got that phone call, how would you feel after that? If you had that phone call.
Oh, if he called me?
No.
Oh, I would be fine.
If he
passed away.
Yes. If you had that phone call tonight, would you be okay with that? That you hadn't spoken to him?
Probably not.
Right.
But I think I would have peace because I've prayed about it.
Okay.
And I've asked God to give me guidance. And I know God knows that I've tried. I know that I've tried with my sisters. I've prayed and prayed and prayed. I sent a birthday card to my sister last summer. This is kind of depressing, but
right.
I sent a birthday card to my sister last summer for her birthday.
Yeah.
Never got a phone call. never got a text message saying thank you, and I wrote some really nice on the card. I mean, after you've tried for so long, Chris, you can't honestly do anything else. You give it to God, and I mean, you have to have peace with it. You have to, because I mean, what else can you do?
Well, it sounds like you've tried. I think maybe
I have.
Just my thoughts on it. I think maybe you should perhaps just pick up the phone and speak to your dad and just see what happens. And if it doesn't happen, well, then you've given it one last go. I know what you're saying about you making the effort all the time. I don't have this problem with any of my family. You know, my sister, my nephews, nieces, we all talk to each other, never a problem, and that's it. If anyone rows it,
that's good. You're very lucky. Very lucky.
If anyone rows it, it'd be me and my sister. And within a couple of days, someone's picked up the phone and said, "Oh, I'm really sorry," or something like that, and that's all fine. That's quite a normal thing between brothers and sisters, as I'm sure you probably know. But where I have a problem with is making phone calls all the time over the years to certain friends, shall we say, and the phone calls never come back. Or eventually, months later, you know, eventually you make another phone call, you still get, and you say, "Why didn't you call me back?" "Oh, you know how it is. I've been really busy, and I've got really fed up with this in the last few months."
Oh, no,
and I have literally,
it is over here, too. People are the same no matter where you are.
And I have literally thought, well, I can't be bothered, and I don't call anymore. And do you know what? You don't hear from them again. So what was the point of speaking to these people for years and years and years, you picking up that phone, hello, da-da-da, and you never, ever get a call? But I can count on one hand the amount of people that call me. On one hand. How sad is that? And all those people I spoke to over the years, or worked with, or met in pubs, this, that, and the other, thousands. I tell you, thousands of people I've met over the years with us, and I'm making the phone calls all the time as it goes on, and nothing comes back. So what's the point? What is the point? And I completely hear where you're coming from, but I'm very lucky because
it's a one-sided relationship. That's basically what I would call it, a one-sided relationship.
There it is. And you just give up in the end, don't you? You absolutely give up in the end.
Or people that see you. This is what I love. People that were your friends like years ago, and you see them out in public, and they say to you, "Oh, I miss you so much. Oh, let's get together. Oh, I'll have to, let's go somewhere. Let's get coffee." And then you say, "Okay, well, contact me." You never hear from them.
No, you don't hear from them.
That one too.
Or after a long period of time, you ring up. Right? After months of you ringing it all the time, then you stop, and then for some reason, a year or two later, you ring up, and do you know what they say? "Oh, I haven't heard from you for a long time." Well, why didn't you pick the phone up then? It's just like that. And it's not like it costs anything anymore. Generally, you've got some sort of thing with your phone where you can make unlimited calls. We certainly have here in the UK. It doesn't cost anything. I could make 1 million calls a day or one call a day, and it still costs me 25 quid a month on the 3 network.
Yeah.
You know, that's just how it is, Glenda. It's been absolutely wonderful talking to you tonight, my darling. It really has.
Well, thank you. Hopefully I haven't been a depressing caller.
You're not
depressing.
Have people
calling in or complaining to you saying, "Oh, you have depressing callers on the line."
Glenda,
but if you want... What?
You never, ever have done a miserable or depressing call. You have done a conversation. Now, the conversation can be a bit miserable, but you've done a conversation. That's all I ask when people ring in. Because sometimes I've had calls from them before. People have rung in before, and they're like, "Hello." Hello. Right, what do you want? "Oh, just wanted to say hello." Well, what's the point of that? No point. We like to have conversations, Glenda.
Yeah. Well, you take care of yourself, Mr. England.
Love to your mother. Love to your mother, all right?
Ta-da,
Glenda.
Thank you. I'll tell her that you said hello.
Please do. All right, ta-da, my darling.
All right.
Bye, Glenda.
Bye-bye.
There we are, Glenda from Pennsylvania. Northumberland in Pennsylvania, incidentally. Northumberland in Pennsylvania. Let's just go to some of your messages that have been coming through there. Shall we go on the YouTube? Let's go on the YouTube for a while, see who's on there this evening. No, Napoleon. Good evening, Napoleon. Sad Cafe, Everyday Hurts. I remember that song. Yes, indeed. Tony, love is in the air. Not reading that out. Shirley Bassey's song is Make the World a Little Younger. Make the world a little younger. Da 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 da. That's the one. I know that one, Tony. Make the world a little younger. Yes, indeed. Ooh. I saw a call flash up then, but that's gone wrong. 1 second. Something went wrong there. Did I just accidentally close the phone line there? Hang on a minute. I think I might have just done something wrong. Take that back there. Right. Okay, I thought I saw a call flash up then and it didn't come through. Try that again, whoever that was. Might have been Ross. Was that you, Ross Pats out? Trying to call in there. What happened? I need to know what happened. Did something go wrong there? Because I need to know. Millennium. Yes, I see what you're saying there, Millennium. I won't read that out. But yeah, I see what you're saying there. Tony says you're a lovely lady, Glenda. That's nice, isn't it? Millennium says goodbye to you, Glenda. Okay. There we are. That's working now. There we go. Hello, Ross. Ross Pats out. Good evening, Ross.
United Kingdom talk.
Oh, is this one of those dodgy phone calls? Good evening, Ross Pats out. How are you? In Norfolk. I know where you are and who you are.
What a load of old shit.
I beg your pardon. How rude are you? That's Ross. I'm sorry for the swear words. That's my friend Ross Patzer, who has absolutely no class whatsoever. Or it was either that or Nan. One or the other. Okay. Where are we now? Let me just scroll back there. Mike says he's been in Cyprus since 2015. Gave up his British citizenship and became a Cypriot citizen. What do you do over there, Mike, as a matter of interest? Do let us know. Airbnb, you can have a house or flat to yourself. Yeah, I'm not quite sure. We've heard some bad stories about people staying at Airbnbs and things like that. So I'm a little bit... I think I need booking a hotel or maybe a villa. We did find a villa that was very reasonably priced, but that was in Paphos. And where my niece is would be about a 40-minute drive from her, you see. I won't hire a car in another country. I'm very funny like that. I'd probably be all right driving the thing, but I don't want to drive in another country. You know, you hire a car and then you take it back. And, oh, it's got a little scratch on it. That's €700, please. No, I'm not having any of that. I'd rather get a bus. Well, are the buses all right? Probably get a bus somewhere or something like that. Mr. England, that's me, Mike. Rod says that you're now an international star. Correct, Rod. I'm all over the world. Global, dear. Global. It's not a local station. Thank you very much. Thank you, Adam. Mike failed all his exams and works as a house... Oh, there we are. Works as a house DJ and also for Forex companies. That might be a misspelling, is it? A house DJ. I gave up the DJing, Mike, because you probably know about a year and... Most of the DJing, about a year and a half ago. I do a little bit of DJ now on a Saturday night because I found I didn't want to do the jobs I was doing. Had I been given a house night, I probably would have done that. But as I became like a jukebox DJ and it became really boring for me. Good evening, Adam LaPlumber. Evening, Adam.
Good evening, Chris Reardon, international DJ.
All right.
2005 to 2009.
Thank you very much. Whereabouts are you tonight, sir?
I am in sunny Kent.
You're in Kent. Well, it's not sunny at the moment. It's the middle of the night now, dear. 9 o'clock at night. How can it be in the middle of the night?
It's a street light shining in. I thought it was...
those lights. The lights. Memories light the corners of my... I could do a whole song if you... Hello? Do you want me to do a whole song? Don't want me to do a whole song. Anyway, what are you calling in for, Adam?
A couple of things, really, Chris.
Yes.
First thing is you're talking about people not sort of wanting to know you after several years. I've had that happen to me a couple of times, and I'm the same as you now. It's sort of like, well, if you can't be bothered to ring me and talk to me, then see you later.
Yeah. I'm kind of that opinion now. It's just a complete and utter waste of time, and trying to talk to these people.
Well, it's nice. I had a friend that I knew for 17 years.
Yeah.
And I worked for them and everything else. And over the last few months, they've just completely ditched me. I've tried phoning them, tried saying hello and what have you, and nothing.
It feels horrible. It just gets you in the end. And like I said to Glenda, you keep it going for years and years, and then I don't know what happens in my head, but something clicks. I thought, why are you doing this? There's still a few people. There's still a few people who I do try and keep in contact with who don't ring me. And I suppose I'll do the same to them at some point. Not because I hate them. Not because I hate them or I dislike them in any way. I just think, well, what's the point of all this? The trouble is, who are you left with? Fortunately, a few members of my family, you, of course, who I speak to occasionally on the phone, and it goes both ways. Ray Reynolds often rings me. On the phone, so from family and whatever.
So, I mean, sometimes with my friends, I don't always ring them a lot because I'm worried that they might be working or, there are other things. So I suppose I should really try and communicate with people a bit better than I do sometimes. Yeah. But it's just one of those things.
I wish I bought a glass of water up here. I'm now going to have really cold tea because I'm ever so dry now.
Well, shall I do some talking for a minute and tell people?
No, that's all right, no, darling. That's all right. You'll probably mention that you've opened a crowdfunding account and try and get money for yourself. So I better stay here.
No, I'm just trying to get you hooked up with the BBC, dear.
Oh, please, they won't touch me with a barge pole, the BBC. I'm far too unpolitically correct for them.
Indeed. Which I'm glad to say you are. Anyway, the other thing I was going to mention was Slimming World.
Yes.
And possibly one of the reasons you're struggling and I'm struggling a bit at the moment. I think it's to do with the weather.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think a lot of it's to do with the weather and how we're psychologically built. Because we stay and we don't. Because we always find at Slimming World, because obviously, as you know, I'm one of the helpers there.
Yeah.
And we always find that people lose the most weight during the summer months.
During the summer months?
During the warmer weather, yeah. The weight just literally falls off people during the warmer weather.
It's not exactly cold now. You see, my problem, it's not always down to me either, to be honest. I was doing quite well this morning. I've had my proper breakfast. I have the overnight oats, and I'm having less of those now as well. I found a whole jar was a bit too much, so I'm kind of having half a jar, 3/4 of a jar, which is much better. And then for lunch, I had 2 Linda McCartney burgers, some smash, and a tin of Branston baked beans. That's what I had for lunch.
Right.
Then I went over to my mate's house. And the trouble is, I know he's got biscuits. I know he's got crisps and cakes. Right? And I went in his house and I said, come on, get the biscuits out then. No, you're not having any biscuits. You're supposed to be trying to lose the weight again. I said, oh, come on, Ron, get the biscuits out. Oh, you're not having any biscuits. He said, do you want tea? Yes, please. I said, but I can't have tea without biscuits. Bring the biscuits. So in came the tea and a plate of biscuits. Chocolate biscuits. 8 of them.
Oh, my God.
You see? 8. Now,
8.
You think that's bad? Let me tell you. If I went out to the supermarket and bought a packet of biscuits, I would have a minimum of half of that packet. There are there are biscuits in the house now because of the wonderful 3 thing that the hamper that 3 have sent me. But nevertheless, I do not buy biscuits or crisps. Very, very rare, because if I have them in the house, I will eat the lot. So, and then last night I was having a lovely time last night at work, and the lovely, delightful Jeannie D bought me in a Cadbury's Whisper bar.
Oh my God!
So I had that, and then there was there were some girls who had a box of Cadbury's cream eggs. 8 of them.
Oh, no.
And one of those was sent over to me, you see? And I don't, at the moment, I have had it before, but at the moment, I don't seem to have the willpower to say no. That's a problem.
Right.
Now, usually on a Monday night, Maureen does some lovely sandwiches, as you know. More sandwiches and a couple of bags of crisps. So that's kind of ingrained in me to have that. So on the way home on Monday night, the choice is, I'm feeling a bit tired. Do I go home and have dinner, which would be smashed potato, some corn sausages, perhaps either a packet of vegetables, or a tin of beans. Or
Yeah.
if I stop at the garage on the way home, I can get a couple of small bags of crisps and a sandwich and a little orange juice. But then when I get in, I can go straight to bed. And that's what I did last night, you see?
Okay.
So a lot of the time, it's the wheel was. I think the willpower has gone a little bit. I was talking to another friend of mine. Please don't mention them because they might not want to be spoken about. But they're having the same problem. They're having the same problem. The willpower seems to have gone. So there we are. That's what it is.
And I really do think it's down to the weather and how we're, how it's all put together. Because
there's,
would you have done the same? Let's ask you this question: would you have done the same sort of thing in the warmer weather? Stopped off at the garage for a packet of crisps, or would you have gone home and thought, "I'm going to cook something"?
I don't know.
How often would you have stopped? No,
I don't know. Well, I certainly don't stop at the sandwich place every time. It's kind of in me now to do that on a Friday and a Monday, There's some messages here. Napoleon says he's just had a full packet of custard creams done in. There are only 2 left. He's had a whole packet. And you see, I would do the same. If I had biscuits here...
I think it's comfort eating.
Yeah, maybe so. But it's not like I'm unhappy. I'm not unhappy.
No.
It's just
that... I just think it's the way that we're designed.
Yeah. Now,
in these winter months.
Oh yes. Now tonight, when I finish a show, I'll go downstairs. Yep. I'm going to have some rice, some brown rice, and I've got my corn casserole, which is basically cubes of corn.
Yep.
So there's peas in there. There's carrots. There's onion. There is gravy, and gravy, as you know, is sinned. But not an awful lot of it. And once I've had that, I won't be able to move. But it's generally hardly any sins in that at all. But you have one biscuit, probably 1 or 2 biscuits would be that same meal. And as you know, you've got, as I just told you, you've got to have half the packet, 3/4 of the packet of biscuits before you feel full up. Whereas that one dinner... and once I've had that, I'll be fine until tomorrow morning, Mike Flux says, I love Twiglets, and he's eating them now. Oh, Twiglets, what are they? They're just vile, those things. Just topped up bits of wood. Hey, do you remember who is it? It was a comedy programme. The man with a funny face, he's got a mole on his face. Great actor.
Mr. Bean.
Mr. Bean, thank you very much. And he went outside the house and because he had people coming around and didn't have anything to eat, and he went and chopped the twigs off a tree, chopped them up and put them on a plate.
Love it.
Damon writes here, a man's body is 60% water. I'm not just fat, I'm waterlogged. Yeah, no, you're not. You're addicted to chips, mate. Shania says cold tea isn't very nice. Absolutely. It's not.
I can't.
Hey?
I can't remember, Chris. Did you get to Target?
Did I get to Target? Yes, I did, and I remained on Target for about 7 or 8 months.
That's right. Yeah.
Then
now,
I started.
Are you planning to go back
to Slimming World as a class? If I was to go on Tuesdays, I would only go for about 3 times because I've got stuff on in March, stuff on in April and May as well from going down here. However, if I joined the Slimming World up in Lincolnshire, I probably would go almost every week because I would set the day for that. You see what I mean? Yeah. So I could do it when I go up there. But you see, I've pushed it back again. You see, I'll get on it again in a couple of months. Now, I said that when I stopped going up north, I'd be straight on it back down here. But that hasn't happened again. So I'm kind of pushing the ball down the road, a bit like Theresa May did, pushing the ball down the road all the time. And we're not getting there, Adam, but that's just how it is at the moment.
Yeah,
am I really upset?
I'm not 100% on it at the moment.
Right.
But, I'm getting back to it. I'm slowly getting back.
Oh my God! What was that, dear? Has someone died?
No, that was just all the pans falling out the cupboard. I'm in the middle of cooking a nice healthy dinner.
Oh, what are you having tonight, mate?
Tonight we are having a mashed potato, some mixed vegetables, and some dead animals in breadcrumbs.
Oh, what dead animals in breadcrumbs are you having, darling?
Well, these are the sins. Chicken Kievs.
Oh, those poor little chickens too. They were just running around.
They look rather nice, and
was it a fresh dead animal or a frozen dead animal?
It was a frozen dead animal.
A frozen.
But don't forget, I am a second-hand vegetarian, Chris.
Wow, that poor little chicken. You said frozen, didn't you? It was probably running around in its own little life 5 years ago before it was frozen, dear.
That's it. But as I say, I'm a second-hand vegetarian. I eat dead animals that have eaten vegetables, so there you go. And on that note, thank you very much, and good night.
Have a lovely evening, Adam. Bye-bye. Thanks for calling in.
Chris. Bye.
What did he say there? Something about dead animals. Madness. Some more messages there. Thank you, Ray. Ray says good reception. USA phone call from Glenda. All good in synchronization as well. Thank you very much. Let's have a look. Damon's given some advice there to, or at least his thoughts to the lovely Glenda there. Hello to Edward. Good evening, Edward. Welcome to the show. Mike loves the song Love Boat. One of our mutual friends, Tony, takes the mic out of me with that song, Love Boat. Da, 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 da. Is it that one from the TV series Love Boat, or do you mean Rock the Boat? Oh, I'd like to know where you got the notion. Rock the boat, baby. That one? I'm not sure which one you mean there, Mike. Tay, I got a great Airbnb in Georgia for a long weekend last year, but you have to do your research. Also had a great villa rental with Vibro. I don't know what Vibro is. That's a new one on me, which is a similar service. Nice to have a home of your own to go to at the end of the day. Yes, it certainly is. I love my caravan, you see. I love going to the caravan. It really is a little house caravan. I was talking a couple of weeks ago, actually, about doing some work inside, taking down one of the walls so I have a much bigger bedroom. But my sister came up with a much better idea, and that is buy a smaller bed. Because the bed it's a double bed in there at the moment, which is, I think, 4 foot. 4'6". That sound about right for a double bed? You can buy double beds that are 4 foot. Okay? And believe me, well, this is a bit of a cliche, but that 6 inches would make all the difference. It absolutely would. It would be 3 inches. At the moment, where it's very tight. Very, very tight. And when you make the bed, it's just a pain in the arse because it's in a frame and you have to lift the thing and tuck that and you can't get round the other side. So you literally have to just lay the sheet on it. 3 inches either side would make all the difference and I'll be able to make it properly then. So I'm going to buy a smaller double bed, put that in a room, then I won't have to do any other work. Brilliant, eh? Brilliant. Hello to Carl. Good evening, Carl. Rex Mawson. Good evening to you, sir. Welcome to the show. Mike, a non-bank foreign exchange company is also known as foreign exchange broker or simply Forex. Okay, I didn't know that. A company that offers currency exchange and international payments to private individuals and companies. So we learned something, and we learned something on this show as well now. You learned something. Don't forget that phone line's open if you want to call in, boys and girls. That's still open for you for a little bit longer if you want to call in. 020-8144-3477. Local London number. It's not a premium rate number at all, okay? 020-8144-3477. Hello to Anthony. Good evening, Anthony, who's in my favourite place in the world, Florida. Well, one of my favourite places in the world, Florida. You have to be so careful. You know, you say something's your favourite place in the world, then you start getting nasty messages. Oh, you said the Isle of Wight was your favourite place and all that, but you have to be so careful, dear, not to upset anyone. Not that bothers me. Mike loves twiglets. All nasty things. I don't like twiglets. Don't like those at all. Mike also says in Cyprus there's also always someone having a barbecue every day, even in the winter. Is that right? We don't have a winter like well, I mean, not that we've had a winter. We haven't had a winter. It could still come. But again, I've said so many times, we do not get the winters that we used to have here. You get like 2 days of snow. Oh, they go mad. They go mad on the news. Oh, 2 days of snow. You won't be able to, well, bully-hoo, 2 whole days. Wow. It's not going to kill anyone, is it really? Certainly not. Oh, Napoleon's finished his custard creams. They've all gone a whole packet. You greedy person. I love it. They are Katie. We don't eat dead animals. Good girl, Katie. Neither do I, darling. Neither do I. And yes, TV series. Thank you very much. Oh, nice to see Guy's back home as well. Guy's been to India. One of my friends there. All right. Talking of holidays, I came across this article in The Sun yesterday, boys and girls, which is telling us where you'll get more value for your pound at the moment, because the pound isn't doing too well. I hate to reveal this to you. It's not exactly a secret, but the pound is not doing too well at the moment. If you go on holiday, you will notice it's a little bit more expensive. Okay? Not that that bothers anyone. I honestly don't think people look at exchange rates, say if they're going to the States, for example. I've just noticed another one of my orchids. I've got so many flowering orchids over there at the moment. I don't think people look at the exchange rates and think to themselves, I'm not going there because the exchange rate is bad. I think people find the money. I think they find the money. Well, in the Sun, it's saying holiday a lot better. Holiday destinations where your pound goes further. So where do you think you should go? Well, as I say, this is in the Sun. It says Turkey, Europe, Iceland, South Africa, and Australia, hello Australia, are among the 18 popular destinations where holidaymakers will see their pounds stretch further this year after sterling strengthened against their currencies. New research from Post Office Travel Money found that Turkey remains the destination where Britons will get the most for their money. Now, my mate's been there twice. He loves it. He absolutely loves Turkey. He gets his hair done, and what's that thing he had done there? He had this wax put up his nose, and then they pull it out. Oh, the pain! I can't bear it, dear. I can't bear anyone touching the hairs in my nose. The hairdresser tries to do it sometimes. You know, he's got that buzzy thing. Bzz, he's done all that, and he goes, "Oh no, don't do that!" And because he does. I don't like that. I've got a very, very sensitive nose. Don't ever touch my nose. I'm telling you now. Don't ever touch my nose. Very, very sensitive. It is. He goes like that, and of course I start sneezing straight away. Turkey remains, my mate goes to Turkey, has this green stuff put up his nose, and then they pull it out. Oh, it's disgusting. It's the most disgusting thing you've ever seen in your life. A green thing with all these nose hairs coming out of it. Vile, dear. Vile. Anyway, Turkey remains the destination where Britons will get the most for their money. £98 more than a year ago on a £500 currency transaction, which is a rise of 24.5%. That's how much more. You're very good if you go to Turkey. Really good value for money. And the story goes on. Sterling remains resilient against the euro too, believe it or not. Around 2% up on its position a year ago. Oh, not doing as bad as we thought, eh? Huh? Oh, it's all due to Brexit. Oh, please give me a favour, will you? On and on, those Remainers, dear. For those planning Eurozone holidays, Spain and Portugal look the best bets. Now, I said that right at the beginning of the show, didn't I? Because I thought Cyprus was in the same sort of price bracket as Spain and Portugal, and it's not. It's not. If you want a cheap holiday, it says Spain and Portugal look the best bets for a bargain break as prices for meals, drinks and other tourist items are lower than in Greece or Italy. Post Office Money, which accounts for 1 in 4 of all UK foreign exchange transactions, says its top tip for those planning to travel further afield is South Africa, where sterling is currently 10% stronger against the South African rand than 12 months ago. It's also risen nearly 3% against the Australian dollar. Now, with the Australian dollar, I have to tell you, I've got quite a lot of relatives who live in Australia now. They've all emigrated from here. And I actually thought about it once, well, a few times. Once when my mother and father were alive, but I didn't want to go because they were alive, and I thought, oh, they'd miss me dreadfully. And then when they left the world, I went. I'd never been before, and I didn't go. When was the last time? When was the first time I went to Australia? I can't remember now. It was the early 2000s sort of time. And I liked it very much. I thought, oh, I'd like to live here. I'd like to live here. But I don't really have a trade, you see. I mean, if you want to emigrate to Australia, you need a trade. You need something that they want. It could be working in electricals or even something like a hairdresser. Something that they want. They don't want a karaoke or DJ person. They've already got those. There's plenty of people who want to be a karaoke host, but it wouldn't be on the list of jobs that you'd want in Australia. Now, my cousin is quite high up in the police there, and he said, well, you could probably get a job doing something that other people want to do. Would you be happy emptying bins? And I thought, well, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with emptying the bins. If you want to do that job, it's not a job I'd want to do. He said, you could get in by emptying the bins in like a little town where they haven't got enough people. I could probably get you in there. And I thought, I don't know about this. Anyway, I thought about it, and then I went again, and I came back 5 times. I've been to Australia. But there's an age limit as well. I was under the age limit now. Now I'm way over it. I'm 56 now. I couldn't do that now. I could possibly retire there if I wanted to. But then I wouldn't be near my family up here, you see. So I didn't do it in the end. I didn't do it. But it was a thought. But when my cousin went, this is where we come to the money thing, part of that son story there. When my cousin went, he was really lucky because he'd got all his money. And of course, you've got to... If you're moving over there, you've got to convert it to dollars. And on the day that the conversion took place, it had got to $3 to £1. So he was really lucky. $3 to £1. I think the last time I went, it was less than $2 to the pound. I think it was about 160 or something like that. It had gone down a lot, but in times gone by, yes, it was $3, possibly more to the pound then. You remember, if you were going to the States, I think it was a couple of years ago around the Christmas time period, I remember the States, that went to $2 to the pound. I remember that. Now, I've been to the States where I've got $170, $160 to the pound. Last time, I went to Vegas with my nephew in November, I think it was. I think we got $1.30. It was a bit crap, really. But it's just the way it goes. But there we are. I mean... they're saying it's better now. Visitors to Iceland, if you're interested in Iceland, will get 10% more krona for their pounds, almost 50%. So if you change 500 quid, you'll get another 50. You'll get another 50 in the currency of Iceland. It's very good. He says the story goes on, but long haul destinations that have become pricier to visit, which would include the US, Barbados. The pound has weakened by 8%. Against the dollar year on year. The bloke, Andrew Brown, who's post office travel manager expert, it says in The Sun, says there's little doubt that the strength of sterling will exert some influence on holiday choice in the coming months. And that's why it's important for people to do their homework before booking. But he says there's little doubt that the strength of sterling will exert some influence on holiday choice. You see, I don't think that. I don't think people look. I think one of the last things people look at when they go abroad is the currency. I think they look at the brochure, they see the hotel or the scenery and what there is to do. I think they look at all that, then they do the flight and all that, whether they're in a travel agent or that, and then they book the holiday. And then they think about the currency. I can't believe many people actually think about the currency before anything else. Do any of you do that as a matter of interest? Do you go on the computer? So right, let's have a look at the currency. All US. It's only 135. I don't think we go. Let's try to. Does anyone do that? I don't think you do. I certainly don't. It's the last thing you think about, the currency, and that can trip you up. Never ever buy your currency from the airport. That is the worst place you can buy it for, or the hotel at the other end. Do not. Make sure the best place to get your currency is online delivered. Okay? You can go on the internet, do a little search of currencies and who's paying what. The post office often have a very good value, but there are other companies as well. American Express do it. People like that. There's loads of people that do currency. Loads. There really is. And you want to go online and do your... comparisons and see who's given out the most and just go for that one. Okay, there's no difference in like service or anything like that. Whereas you get a huge difference if you bought something from, say, John Lewis or Curry's. Huge difference in the service there. If you're buying stuff online, did that light flash then? We have a flash. Was there a flash of lightning in here, dear? What was the flash of lightning going on in here? Then there's no difference whatsoever. You just go for the cheapest one and that's it. And order that online. Some of your messages then. Let's have a go. Mike's going now. He's got to pick up his wife from work. Say hello to her for me, Mike. All right. He says in Cyprus they do wax too. Even on the forehead. Makes my eyes water. It's not happening to me, mate. I'm not having anyone shoving wax up my nose and pulling out a load of hairs. No, thank you very much. Right, anyone else want to call in nice and quick now? Because I'll be closing the phone line soon. I'm very happy with how this evening's gone and how the internet has held up there. 020 8144 3477 is my local London number. You've got about 2 minutes before I close the line. If you don't want to call in, that's all right as well. 020 8144 3477, local London number. Damon, you can get the post office to give a better exchange rate than what they advertise. Only works for buying currency, not selling back. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, it's just a case of doing your homework sometimes and just making sure you get the best rate. But never ever go to the airport. Don't turn up at the airport and £500 in dollars. You will get a really low rate. The bloke on them is an excellent travel expert, and he's often on the television. And his name is gone for a minute. He's a thin bloke with glasses, and he used to have a show on LBC. Hang on. Travel expert on BBC. Let's have a guess. Have we got? Is that in there? Who is the BBC travel expert? See if we can find his name. Simon Calder, that's him. Simon Calder. He's often been on the television or on it. He used to have a radio show on LBC, an excellent radio show, which they took off. I don't know why. And you could ring in. It's a wonderful show. You had all these people. I never rang him in, but it's great to listen to. People ringing in saying, oh, I'm getting married in a couple of years' time. We would like to go somewhere and do it abroad. We've only got £500. Where can we go? And he, off the top of his head, he will give you a wealth of information on what to do, where to go. And it was fantastic radio. And they took it off. And it's not like he was short of calls. Honestly, he had call after call coming in. People wanted advice on holidays and what have you. And then you get, rich people ringing in as well. I've got £10,000 to spend on a holiday. Really? God. On a holiday, £10,000? I'm moaning about 500 here. Hello to Tommy Flynn, Martin Lewis. Martin Lewis, yes, Martin Lewis is the money expert. He's another one who's very good. He's got a television programme, of course, on ITV. And he does his thing on there as well. But Simon Calder is the travel expert. He's really, really good, Simon Calder. Martin Lewis is the money experts. All right, Matt, after hearing you talking about people who don't return calls, I feel guilty. We'll call you in the next few days. Yeah, you're one of them, actually, Matthew. You never return calls. You're one of them. Let's see how well you carry that out, shall we? I shall be awaiting your call tomorrow. Don't be one of those people who I have to cut off, dear. And when are we going out for another lunch? About time we had another lunch. Come, not down that other place you took us to for Christmas, please. Ghastly place. Brazilian food, whatever it was, I don't know. Just a bloke walking around, handing out bits of dead animals to everyone. Awful, dear. Matthew says, I don't really like LBC presenters anymore. They're all very dull. Oh, do you not listen to... No, there are a few good people on there. I have to say, Nick Abbott, I thought, was excellent on Friday night because he didn't do the whole Brexit and Trump thing that he's obsessed with. He talks about other things, and it was very good. It was very funny. Very funny, indeed. You may not have heard of Steve Allen, then. Have you never heard Steve Allen? Probably a bit on too early for you. He's on between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning. You'll have to get it on podcast. Yeah, but he's excellent. You'd love him. You'd love Steve Allen. You really would. And Clive Ball, he's only on at the weekends. And there's another lad on there. He's very good looking, actually. I can't think of his name now. Is it Tom? Is it Tom someone? I think there's a guy called Tom. There's Magic Noir. He's very good. He got mugged. He got mugged yesterday outside a theatre. Magic Noir from LBC. Racial attack. Vile people, dear. Just beaten up because he doesn't look white and British. Horrible. He had all black eyes and everything. I did feel sorry for him. He's very good on LBC. I hope he recovers very soon. Horrible when you hear sort of random attacks like that in the street, isn't it? Oh, it's just all the time now. There we are. Okay, boys and girls. Lines are now closed. Please don't call in. Lines are now closed. Well, you won't be able to call in and quit. There you go. Lines are closed. So that won't ring anymore. Thank you very much to those of you that took the time and trouble to call in on the show today. And... Hello to Sam Fair. Where are you, Sam? You're away somewhere, aren't you? Somewhere. We're just about to finish, Sam, but do tell us where you are at the moment. Is it Thailand you're in? He's travelling the world at the moment, young Sam. Lovely chap. Lovely. Labour activist, aren't you? Labour activist. Perhaps you could go and replace some of those people that have just left. All right, Sam. Nice to see your little face pop up there on the screen. Yes, as I say, we've been testing out the whole show's been coming today by 4G. No wires, and I'm very, very happy with how it's held up. I will continue doing the show like that in the mornings. I want to give it a really good go before I decide to drop my Virgin Media thing. I need to know that it's going to work well. We did have a minor problem that I can see in front of me. It's telling me that we lost 102 dropped frames. Now, what does that mean? That means the picture probably for you froze a little bit. 102 is, believe me, it's nothing. I've sent tens of thousands of frames while I've been doing this show. So it's less than 0.01% of frames that we dropped. So some of you wouldn't even have noticed it, to be honest. But for the sake of saving 30 quid a month, it's worth thinking about, isn't it? It really is. Good evening to Dr. SRS Gregorian. I'm afraid you've joined us too late. I'm going to finish now. Thanks ever so much for joining us on our little test show tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I hope to be back with you at some time, probably around about 9:30 tomorrow morning. Right now, I'm going to do my dinner and watch tonight's episode of Holby City. Very, very exciting. Have a lovely night, I say. Thanks very much for watching and listening to the show. Good night now.